IAU 2019. Alfonso Esparza Ortiz, with you. Good morning. We start with the works of the Conference of Integration of Universities 2019, where specialists, professors, researchers are going to analyze different aspects of the transformation that it's needed and claimed by the future of higher education. The scope of our century, where lots of paradigms are changing, it makes it indispensable that all the institutions can develop the capacity to adapt and give an answer to all of the requirements that haven't been thought so far. In a world of great advancement in research, where quantum computer, the crypto money, the blog, the internet, and many other innovations are conditioning the development and are factors of power among nations. The university has the obligation of giving an answer, as well as in scientist field as in regarding human beings, that claims that it's claiming a transformation in the world. The students have expectations that should be accompanied on an integral basis. So we should give all the abilities so they are capable of self-training themselves in education through their own lives. Because currently the knowledge is duplicated every 2 hours. In the same way, the education of students should give knowledge, capabilities, abilities, and values that make them to be competitive and agents of change in their environment, ready to change and to give solutions to different problems. Of course, there are some other challenges, as well as the financing that is affecting all the opportunities of accessing higher education of the students, as well as the possibilities of the universities to amplify their curricula and number of students and to answer all of the social needs. Okay. As in many other environments and ambients, the students, the young people, are called to be the performers of a new vision over the world. They are the ones to impulse all of the transformations so the planet can continue having in itself the human beings. The complexity of the panorama and scope is going to be shared by me with a personal conviction regarding higher education, that it's the non-breakable commitment of convinced citizens of the value of justice, equity, tolerance, and sustainability. Human beings that are integral, ethical, responsible, and that take into consideration the community, the environment, the ambient, and the country with a clear conviction about human rights, environment, and the dialogue among them in pacific ways. Facing the new realities, higher education should continue with human specifics, because knowledge is not worth if it's not to be used to help people and help their lives. So we should change about what is needed to be done in knowledge and teaching. What tools do we have in hand? How can we take advantage of technology? What type of alumni do we want to have? What are the characteristics of the professors that we need, and to what world we are aspiring? Nosotros estamos muy contentos de recibirlos a ustedes para que todos estén satisfechos.
That we have prepared for you, like the last night presentation and also tonight. And we would like to express our gratitude to the IAU, a council board, as well as the president, Pam Fredman, for the trust she has laid on the university as the venue to hold such important meeting. Finally, I would like to thank you again for coming and always feel here at home, because there are no barriers when it comes about education. The competence is between humanity and the future, and we all are on behalf of your youngsters to conquer the future. Thank you very much.
A continuación, hace uso de la palabra la doctora Pam Friedman, presidenta de la Asociación Internacional de Universidades.
Associations of universities.
Thank you. So welcome everyone and to this meeting, which I would say already from the beginning is successful. There is more than 270 registrations from all over the world, which is very, very good. But coming back to the welcome, Rector, once again, thank you very much for yesterday. We wonder what will be the gala dinner if we saw it yesterday. And I have to reflect also on the last dance, for those of you who were there, the old man dancing, and that's our future, but it was great. So we can live with that. I would also like to thank, of course, the university, and as I said yesterday, and I want to like to repeat it, all the people who has been engaged and who has done so much efforts to get this meeting to come through. And of course, all the people at the IAU office who still is working a lot, but it's up to them to make this scene for a meeting and all the arrangements. And then, as I said yesterday, it's up to us to make the successful meeting. So IAU was formed 1950, and it is an NGO at UNESCO and also based at UNESCO in Paris. It has more than 650 higher education institutions, more than 30 associations, which met the other day and had a separate meeting, and also from 130 countries around the world. So it is really, as Ramon de la Fuente said yesterday, it is a global network of higher education and associations. I'm not going through all things that IAU is doing, because then you will sit here and have no plenary sessions and any session at all. So I would like you to visit the homepage. I would also like you to see outside in the break sessions to see what we're doing and get some more information. And there is staff from IAU all around and through this day and tomorrow. It is an organization that's serving the membership for the higher education through expertise, trends, analysis, publications, and not at least global advocacy. And also emphasis on values, and that will be separately discussed also from the Magna Carta Observatory today. And I think that we have expressed that so many times, the values are our base. I'm not going through all the different publications we have, but I would like to mention the World Higher Education database, which is unique and has been held by IAU. And there are more than 19,000 higher education institutions in that database in 196 countries. And we will launch a unique code for each university in that database, which means that that could also, for the future, be used for recognition for the individual institutions all around the world. The priorities of IAU is leadership, internationalization, higher education for sustainable development, and technology. And all these topics, all these priorities will be on the table and discussed in different sessions during today and tomorrow. And it was also, to some extent, discussed in the GMA meeting. I would like to mention that in relation to those, I said that we do a trends analysis. So for the internationalization, there will be a new survey, which you can look into more in the break sessions. And there is also a survey on higher education for sustainable development, or more exactly, the Agenda 2030. And from the yesterday discussion that people doesn't know it sometimes in some areas, but the recognition of Agenda 2030 is rising around the world, and that is a good sign. So please look at that survey. And finally, there is an upcoming survey on technology and digitalization, and that will also be in one of the sessions today. So during the breakout, please learn more. So now to the theme of this conference, to transform higher education for the future. I will have two reflections on that. The first, transformation is not new. The world is transforming all the time. And I would say higher education institutions has also transformed during the centuries. It's not that they are the same as they was 200 years back. But the speed is increasing. And I will give one example which I saw from a documentary. If we say that we have 10,000 generations of humans, out of these 10,000 generations, 6 have been living with it. 6 of those have lived with electricity, 4 with car or automobile, 1 generation of these 10,000 with smartphones. So the speed is accelerating. And how do we cope with this as human beings? Can we cope with all this? Is our brain actually formatted for all these rapid changes? So with this, I would send a signal that, of course, we have to have a holistic and transdisciplinary approach to the transformation which is going on, and also the technology development. Another reflection is the preparatory conference for the formation of IAU, which was initiated by UNESCO in 1948 in Utrecht. I was looking into the themes from that conference. Themes were among threats to academic freedom, threats to autonomy, the problem with massification of higher education, elite or open doors for everyone, classical general education or vocational focused education. The need for international cooperation was expressed, and actually that was the formation of IAU. 70 years later, listening to Ramon de la Fuente yesterday, we are expressing the same worries to some extent. And that's, for me, a bad sign. We haven't come further. And I think that there are threats and all those things are coming back. You have to remember, this was after the Second World War. There is a denial of facts and proven experience. There is also the value of higher education at all. There is an increasing inequality, loss of ethical and moral perspectives. So, however, there are positive trends, and I think that we should be positive. We should find the way forward. Higher education's key role in society is expressed at many cases in many countries, even though they don't live up. This is technology. It's working now? Okay, coming back. So the importance of higher education in society, and I think that we all agree to that. We have to see that others also. But from the UN, it has clearly been stated that higher education plays a key role in the Agenda 2030. And remember, the Agenda 2030 has been signed by all UN member countries. So the government has actually explicitly said that this is important, and thereby they should see also higher education institutions as important to reach those. Another thing is that the students, there are strong driving forces from students, and there is a survey which was presented at a meeting in Canada recently, Magna Carta meeting, that the students, the most important thing for students to enter higher education is that they want to get the skills, the knowledge and the skills to be those to take care of the future of the planet. And that means that we should also see to that our students get those skills with creativity and critical thinking. Social responsibility has been brought up both by Jensen's talk at the GMA and also by Ramon de la Fuente. And that is important because the society has to see us, and we have to see that we are providing the knowledge and the competence through the students to the society. But cooperation has to be built on mutual trust, mutual respect, and mutual understanding of the diverse role of the different stakeholders. And for higher education institutions, that means the values and the basic fundamental principle for higher education. Higher education's engagement and visibility in society by research and by education hopefully will bring to the recognition in society in general that there is a need for education, higher education, but also all levels. And that thereby we also get the pressure on governments, on politicians, on the importance of higher education. How to work with the society, there will be BBC movies from different higher educations in the world, which we'll see in the afternoon. And that is a collaboration between the BBC Storytel and IAU, and this is a new way to find how could we reach out to the whole society with higher educations, what they do. So with these words, I hope that we will have constructive dialogues in all the sessions, and that we, as I said yesterday, go from this meeting and said, we have some things to go forward with from the Puebla meeting. So I wish us all a very good conference, and it's up to us to make it successful. Thank you.
De esta forma es como quedan abiertos los trabajos de esta Asociación Internacional de Universidades. Se despide de ustedes el doctor Alfonso Esparza Ortiz,
rector of the Emeritus University of Puebla, leaves the room, and we start with the panels of this conference.